What I'm about to show you can tell you in 30 seconds whether your tomato plant is going to live or die, and 90% of gardeners have never heard of this test. When you cut open a diseased stem lengthwise, do you see brown streaking inside the stem? That means this plant is already dead. It just doesn't know it yet. But is there healthy white tissue seen? This plant can be saved. In part one, we learned the game-changing question, where did your yellowing start? Today, we're going deeper into the diseases that can kill your plants, and I'm going to teach you the diagnostic tricks that even some professional growers don't know. But first, if you missed part one, there's a link in the description. You need that foundation for today's detective work to make sense. Let's start with the absolute worst case scenario, late blight. This is the disease that caused the Irish potato famine, and it can destroy your entire tomato crop in 14 days under the right conditions. Here's how you recognize it. Small, dark, water-soaked spots that appear almost overnight. But here's the killer clue. Flip those leaves over and you'll see white, fuzzy growth around the edges of the spots. That white fuzz is the disease making millions of spores, getting ready to spread to every plant in your garden. Late blight loves cool, wet weather, temperatures in the upper 70s with high humidity. If you've had a stretch of weather like that and you see these symptoms, you need to act immediately. Early blight is more common but less dramatic. It creates these distinctive bullseye patterns, concentric rings that look like targets. The good news, it moves much slower than late blight. The bad news, if you ignore it, it will eventually defoliate your entire plant. Septoria leaf spot is sneaky because the individual spots are tiny, but there are so many of them. Get close with a magnifying glass and you can actually see little black specks in the center of each spot. Those are spore-producing structures, and they're working overtime to spread the disease. Now here's that 30-second test I promised. If you're seeing yellowing and wilting that affects whole branches or half your plant, grab a clean knife and cut the stem near the base. In a healthy plant, that cross-section should be white or very pale green. But if you see brown or dark streaks in what should be white tissue, your plant has a systemic disease, either Fusarium Wilt or Verticillium Wilt. Here's the advanced version of this test. Put that cut stem in a glass of clear water. If you see cloudy, yellowish ooze streaming out, you're dealing with bacterial wilt, which is even worse than the fungal wilts. These systemic diseases are like having a clogged artery. The plant's plumbing system is compromised, and there's no cure once it's established. But here's where it gets tricky. Some environmental problems can look exactly like diseases. Heat stress can cause wilting that looks just like wilt disease. The key difference? Heat stress usually recovers overnight when temperatures drop. Overwatering is probably the biggest disease mimic out there. Your plant wilts, leaves turn yellow, and you think, disease! But really, you've drowned the roots and they can't function anymore. The giveaway is in the roots. Healthy roots are white and firm. Overwatered, rotting roots are brown, black, and mushy, and the soil will have that funky, swampy-like smell. Here's the thing about these diseases. They almost all have the same weakness. They hate dry leaves and good air circulation. Stop watering from overhead. I know it's convenient, but you're basically giving diseases a free ride onto your plants. Water at soil level instead. Space your plants properly and stake them up off the ground. Fungi love crowded, humid conditions where air can't move freely. And clean your tools. Diseases spread on dirty pruners and garden tools faster than gossip in a small town. In part 3, I'm going to show you how to decode your plant's specific nutrient requests, because when your plant is hungry, it sends a very particular signal out. I'll teach you the difference between a $5 pH problem and a $50 fertilizer problem, and why throwing fertilizer at every yellowing leaf might actually be making things even worse. Hit subscribe and ring that notification bell. Part 3 drops in a few days, and it's going to save you serious money on fertilizers you probably don't even need. What diseases are you dealing with in your garden? Drop a comment and let me know. I read every single one. Thanks for joining me today on Almost 2 Acres. Until next time, let's get growing.